All right, Chris, here's that Kenwood TK-8150 I was telling you about. This external speaker doesn't come with it. I just got it sitting there. But really the only thing about it is the function keys. When they were new, they came with little inserts you put in there in the face, and of course they're backlit. And as you can see, this one's missing one, but the programming as far as the key assignments pretty much matches up there. This is the monitor button, but it doesn't just monitor like no squelch. It monitors with whatever tones you got, you know, on whatever channel you have. So like if somebody keyed up Warrensburg right now, but it was a weak signal, you know, you may not hear it, but if monitor's on, you would. But you don't hear it go, you know, like you normally would, which is fine. It still works the same. And then this button just advances you to the next zone, which I only have 2 zones in this. Zone 1 is just your standard GMRS simplex channels, and then zone 2 is all the Midwest GMRS network repeaters. This is your channel button, so you just, you know, go through them. And as you can see, I prefaced it with the state, and I got all the Indiana ones in here, Ohio, Wisconsin. And when you get to the last one, it just recycles back to the beginning. So there's the singular one for Iowa, and then Illinois, etc. I'll leave it on Warrensburg because that's what I use. Power button's right here, and it's kind of small and in a weird spot, but I think it was put there like that on purpose to keep you from, you know, inadvertently or accidentally turning the power off. And then the rest of these, LIT, that just turns your backlight on and off. Talk around, that's for, let's say you're on your repeater, whatever repeater you use, and you're talking to another station that's using that same repeater to get into the network. When you hit talk around, it basically is just talking simplex on the 462 frequency, but with the same tone. So it's like having a private conversation, you know, kind of stepping aside of the input to the repeater. Just simplex. I mean, you could do the same thing, you know, go into your regular simplex channel for Warrensburg is the 462.725, but that doesn't have any tones. So just a kind of a quick explanation on that. The D/A is to either delete or add a channel from the scan. This little triangle here is what denotes that it's added to the scan. So if you hit that, you know, it'll exclude it when you're doing your scan. So if you run across like a nuisance station or a station that just keeps picking up a lot of interference or something, you can temporarily delete it and then add it later if you want. I'll go ahead and add it back. And then of course, this is your scan button. And that's pretty much it as far as button assignments go. Of course, this is your volume here. And the type of mic that this uses is it's like a RJ45 connector. This is actually the programming cable here. And the good news is that style will work for several different Kenwoods. My no, not the TK-890, that's a different one. But my 880 and my 8180, they all use the same cable. So that's kind of nice. Here's what the programming software looks like. I'm not going to show you the second zone that's got all the repeaters in it because it shows the tones there, and I don't want to do that. But just to show you how you can do split tones, let's say this was a channel you were programming in. You know, let's say the receive, let's say, was set to 103.5. But the encode or input into the repeater, let's say it was a DPL tone, like 315N. So you can do the split tones there. Let me go ahead and put that back to none. Put this one back to none. But just as an example. But I mean, it's real easy. Receive frequency. Any GMRS repeater you want to program, it's going to be 462 dot whatever. And then the transmit frequency is going to be +5. This is a simplex channel, you know, so it says 462, but it'd be 467, you know, dot whatever. And then you do your tones, you name your channel. You can set the low and high power, whether or not you want it to be wideband or narrow, whether or not you want it added to the scan. The optional signaling is really just for fleet sync. But the fleet sync on this one, it's pretty rudimentary. So you can just leave that at none, you know, for just standard GMRS use is fine. You know, and then you can go file and open or save, or you can use the little icons here. That's to open a code plug. That's to save a code plug. You can print a report that shows you your entire radio setup, and you can specify, you know, what you want it to show, etc. This is to read the current code plug that's in the radio to your computer, and this is to write whatever code plug that you've programmed here to the radio. You go to the setup and communications port, and this is where you select what COM port you're using, you know, for your cable. A lot of the softwares I've used, they give you a lot more choices on your COM ports. This one only gives you COM port 1 through 4. So if you've got something you're using on 1, 2, 3, or 4, you may have to temporarily use one of those, you know, for this particular cable when you're doing your programming. But if you're adept at PCs, it shouldn't be too hard for you to figure out. But let's go ahead and see if we can get somebody on the air here. WRTX-8450. This is WRAH-210. You out there, Dave? This is kind of a quiet time. What time is it? 7 o'clock. WRTX-843, WRAH-210. You in there, Dave? And negative contact with 84 and a 3, WRH-210. I'll be clearing on the side. See if somebody comes back to me.
WRH-210. Good evening, Craig. WRWW-447.
Hey Kenny, how's it going? I'm actually making a video demoing the radio, so I'm glad you came back to me. I was just wanting to make contact here just for demo purposes. What's going on over there?
Nothing much really happening. I am getting feedback from my other radio, so I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your video, but yeah, I'm messing around with the Raspberry Pi right now.
Hey, Roger on that. Yeah, no worries on the feedback, it happens. Hey, can you give me a quick audio report?
Sure thing, audio sounds good. Of course, you're full quieting into the repeater. Yeah, sounds like you.
Copy all, Kenny. I appreciate it. You're sounding good too, my friend. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go for now so I can get back to this, but I appreciate the comeback, sir. I'll be clear on yours. WRH210. Have a good one.
Well, you have a good one over there. I got a couple of radios going, so not like I'm going to be bored tonight. WRH210, 73 is WRWW447. Kenny in Springfield, Illinois. We're clear listening.
All right, so there you have it. I'm about, I don't know exactly, but it's roughly 35 to 40 miles from Warrensburg. And I'm just north of Springfield, Illinois. It's pretty flat here. And I've just got a J-pole up in my attic with the run of LMR 400, and I got a switch here so I can switch between a couple different radios. But you know, that's basically my setup. So just thought I'd do a quick demo for you so you could see it. Let me show you this other group. It's, like I said, it's just your standard, you know, GMRS simplex channels, no tones, all the way to 22. And I already showed you the Midwest GMRS zone there. So yeah, and this is the mic that it's going to come with. It's a really good one. It's a genuine Kenwood KMC 35. It's got a nice weight to it, doesn't feel chintzy. And you know, just a standard RJ45 type connector to the radio. And this is the power cable, brand new DC power cable for it. So if you wanted to put it in a vehicle, or you could, you know, cut it to length and put whatever kind of connector and hook it up to your power supply if you want to use it as a base. One thing I wanted to point out, if you look at this vehicle mount that it's on, that's actually not the correct mount for that radio, but it's the same width. It's actually the mount used for the 890. But the weight distribution on it's a little different. So that's kind of the reason I have that speaker sitting on it. If that speaker isn't there, you know, it's real easy to want to tip forward. But you could play around with how it's mounted, you know, what holes you're using here, or maybe even flip it around and it may work better. I just kind of threw it on there for the time being. You can't find the ones that were originally made for it. I looked all over for a couple months and just couldn't find one. And somebody recommended the TK-8150 mount because it's the same width. But I've got it mounted on the bottom. You can see I got like some rubber feet on there. So if you have it, you know, sitting on your bench or what have you. But you know, if you're going to use it as a base, you could just stack something else on top of it, you know, to make it a little bit more solid, or try, you know, flipping that mount around. Like I said, it may work out a little bit better, but you know, just how I have it here with something on it, it's sturdy. You know, you can operate it and hit buttons and everything without it wanting to tip. So yeah, it's a great radio, puts out good power, and as you heard Kenny say there, full quieting. So, and I like the receive audio on it. It's got a little bit bigger speaker here than what my 8180 has. The 8180's got good receive audio, but it's definitely more trebly, where this is a little more bassy, which I actually like. That's how my 890 is too. But yeah, it's a great setup for the money, man. And I'm passing you a good deal. I don't remember exactly when I got this, but I remember what I paid for it. And then, you know, plus getting the mic and the power cable, you know, I just maybe added just a little bit to that price just to cover shipping, you know, and say just give you a flat price fix. So it's a good deal if you look around. But no worries either way. If you want it, great, we'll work it out. If not, I'll hold on to it, or maybe see if somebody else wants it. I actually got a couple other people interested in it after I posted on your post there on Facebook, so I could easily find another home for it. But yeah, I'll hold it for you, man. If you want to go ahead and pick it up, I'll be happy to send it to you. And it is current. I went on the club page, and and downloaded the repeater tone list, and so it's fully up to date as far as the Midwest GMRS network goes. All right, man, just get back with me and let me know, and we'll go from there. You have a good one.